Hello my lovely little weasels, it is the new year and of course we're gonna be covering top 3 Warframes to have as a beginner player, intermediate player, any sort of player to begin the year to do as many missions as humanly possible and make the grind a little bit easier. Now, first of all, I want to put a little bit of disclaimers. You know, number 5, or I guess number 3 in this situation, is not better than number 1. They're all great Warframes and they're definite pickups if you don't have them. Now, let's get this out of the way. Some honest recommendations, Core Prime for example, Necros, those farming Warframes, Gauss as well. These Warframes are incredibly good to have as well. And of course, you're gonna have to get every Warframe in the game if you want to increase your master rank, so it is completely your choice. This is just my opinion, so without any further delays, let's get straight into the video. First of all, one of the Warframes, if not the tankiest Warframe in the game, Revenant Prime. This Warframe can survive anything if you keep your Mesmer skin active. Also, if you apply incredible amounts of viral damage to enemies, you can use your Reeve to basically armor strip enemies, actually not even armor strip, completely destroy the enemies with Reeve. So that is another great thing. His fourth ability, it's okay, Dancing Macabre, it's good against low level enemies and stuff like that, but I have exchanged it for Aurora, of course. Eclipse is another cool option, so keep that in mind, as his first ability turns enemies into his allies basically and turning them against each other, which is basically sort of a radiation proc, but honestly much better. His first ability, great crowd controlling ability as well, but his tankiest is incredibly good. I have a video on him, so you can check that up in the little eye up there. I'm not going to really talk about many things about Revenant, just not to make the video too long for you guys. I will leave my personal build that I use on the daily on the screen right now, so you can check that out. So I basically focus on Mesmer Skin, and Mesmer Skin. I also use him for Archon hunting. The Archon just basically looks at me, he shoots me, he tries to attack me, and he's like, what the hell, why the hell I'm not doing damage? And then basically I kill the Acolyte, or I guess not the Acolyte, yeah, even Acolytes, and then I kill the Archon, and I just skedaddle and leave that place with his Archon shard. So incredibly good for that as well. Incredibly good, tanky Warframe, if not the most tankiest Warframe, and a definite pickup for 2023 if you want to survive anything in Warframe. Number 2 Warframe is a very interesting Warframe. Now, he is, of course, currently in the Prime Resurgence, and it is Volt Prime. In my opinion, one of the most versatile Warframes in the game. Now, I'm not going to post any builds because I have a lot of builds for him and I don't run one particular build, so I highly recommend you click that little eye up there and go to my Volt video because I have like 3 or 4 builds on there. It's much easier than just posting pictures on here because I can't really explain them in further depth without making the video much longer. So click the little eye up there to find out what kind of builds we have for Volt. But Volt, incredibly good, first of all, with Eidolon hunting, the best, if not the only solo Eidolon hunting Warframe. Of course, you can use many different Warframes. It is 90% of the player base uses Volt for Eidolon hunting. You can extremely easily buff yourself, buff your amp, buff your weapons, and just buff your teammates as well if you're playing not solo. He's incredibly good at that. ESO. I use him for ESO, for farming up Madurai Focus School. Incredibly good with his fourth ability. You just basically cast it. You have to wait until I guess the duration is completely done. Then you can cast it again so you don't get locked by Cephalon and Samaris. So keep that in mind. So after the duration ends, press 4 again and then rinse and repeat, and you can get a ton of focus by playing him. Honestly, I usually play 3 rounds with him and I get around 70k to 90k standing for my focus school when I play those 3 rounds with the Eidolon build. Of course, incredibly good for buffing your speed. For relic runs, incredibly good. Capture, especially if you're gonna run capture missions, Lith, Meso, doesn't matter which kind of relic it is, use Speed Volt. It's gonna buff you, buff your team, which makes the mission run faster and finish faster. So he's incredibly good for that as well. An incredibly good buffing Warframe as well for arbitrations, for example, with his shield, shock trooper augment as well. Incredibly good, incredibly fine Warframe. If you're gonna camp with a fully dedicated arbitration squad, he's extremely good at buffing Warframe. Now, I do have to mention here, another great buffing Warframe in general is Saren. An incredibly good, versatile Warframe is Saren, of course, Saren Prime. So, you know, you don't get mad at me that I didn't mention her, but she is just not useful for Eidolon, so that's like the only main difference. She's mostly useful for everything else but relic runs and Eidolons, because Volt is a little bit better at that. And my number one Warframe, I do have to put Wukong here. I do have to. A lot of people already have him, a lot of people already play him, and a lot of people expected me to put Wukong here, but he is one of, if not the most versatile Warframe in the game. He can tank. He can tank anything with his third ability, with his second ability. He can tank everything. He has his first ability, which is basically his clone that does more damage and has more health. So his third ability basically gives you a maximum of 1500 armor alongside this build that I'm using. This is my main build for Wukong. He's incredibly good. Second ability, Cloudwalker, since they changed it, incredible maneuverability, and also you get health back by meters traveled, so that's good as well. His fourth ability, it's okay. It's okay. I've been using it a little bit, but honestly, out of all of the, I guess not augmented weapons, but out of every single weapon that I've used on different Warframes, it's okay. It's nothing great, nothing bad, but it's okay. So I changed it out for Roar because it is much better. And of course, Celestial Twin, as I said, incredibly good. He is also good for capture missions. If you're gonna play capture missions, this is the Warframe for the job. If you're gonna play spy missions, this is the Warframe for the job. If you're gonna hunt your Ayatan sculpture, this is the Warframe for the job. Anything that you need to have done fast, extremely efficiently, he is incredibly good. Now, Titania is good as well. She is even better at extermination missions, but she can't really be used in spy missions. You do need a lot of setup with Titania and a lot of energy as well, upkeep as well, so keep that in mind. And honestly, Titania is a little bit too fast in my opinion, so that's why I don't use her. I also wanted to say, as I said in the beginning, Gauss is incredibly good, basically some people might say a better version of Volt, but I still kind of hold the Volt on that pedestal. I kind of still like Volt a little bit more, but I do use him for what's it called, for Kuvaliches as well, so he's quite decent at that as well, decent survivability as well. So those are my top 3 Warframes for 2023 that every Warframe player should have and try out at least once. They're incredibly good Warframes, some of them a little bit easier to get than others, but if you have the Platinum, you can just buy them the Prime variants. All 3 have Prime variants, so you can get all 3. And basically, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful little video. If you guys did, leave a like and do subscribe for more content. If you know, maybe tell me your top 3 Warframes that you would use in 2023 and that you would recommend for new players in the comment section below. This has been the Gaming Weasel, over and out.